Hey, I'm Adam Jusko from PropMoney.com, and in this video we are going to look at the best of the credit card world in 2020, best new card introductions as well as best refreshes, other things that happen. We're going to do a little countdown here of the top 10 good things that happened in the credit card industry for 2020. But before we do that, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not already, and if you have already, I thank you for doing so. 2020 has been a weird year, which is a pretty obvious thing to say. It has been a weird year in the credit card industry as well, because at a time when the economy overall has, tanked in many ways, you would think that the credit card companies would have maybe just gone into hibernation and said, we'll see you in 2021. But instead, we've had all sorts of new card introductions, card refreshes, interesting bonuses and special offers. A ton of stuff happened in 2020. So if you were someone that is fortunate enough to have kept your job and your personal economy in your household is doing okay, all sorts of opportunities were out there and are out there still, many of these. So we're going to talk about them, count them down 10 to 1, and then we'll also talk about some other things that came on the market that have maybe a narrower slice in terms of interest, but some people might be interested. All right, number 10, we're going to bunch three cards together, and these are sort of three credit card wannabes that made some announcements and had waiting lists, but there wasn't much product, if any, actually out on the market. And those are the X1 card, the Tomo card, and this Cred.ai card, which is the least established of any of them. So the Tomo card and the X1 card, both of them sort of looking for the same kind of audience, people that don't have any credit history, don't have much credit history, and can perhaps get approved with their bank account information instead of a credit score because of the fact they don't have a credit history. So that's sort of the promise of these cards, and they have some rewards and interesting things going on top of that. But the Tomo card, the X1 card, neither one of them are really in too many people's hands. There's this Cred.ai card that thinks it's the unicorn of credit cards, but it seems more of a fantasy than the other two in terms of ever actually having a card on the market. So we'll see what happens there. It is somewhat similar to the other two. So those sort of fintech wannabe cards take the number 10 slot. Number 9, the Bank of America Cashback Secured Card, a new secured credit card on the market from an established player for people that are trying to establish their own credit history. This is essentially a secured card that requires a security deposit, but it is the same as the Bank of America Cash Rewards card for the general market in most other ways, in particular in the way of rewards. So 3% cash back in a category of your choice, 2% back at grocery stores, 1% back everywhere else. So in terms of secured cards, oftentimes they are pretty plain, pretty vanilla. You don't get a whole lot with them. You're just putting a security deposit down as collateral in order to get some credit and build up your credit history and make a jump to sort of regular credit cards. In this case, Bank of America has put a lot of the good stuff right here with a secured card, and in my mind it might be the best secured credit card on the market right now. Number 8, maybe lost in the fog at the pre-COVID era, was the refresh of the Delta Airlines credit cards, in particular the Delta Platinum card and the Delta Gold card. Delta decided to go more for rewards on everyday purchases than they had in the past, so more miles on supermarkets and restaurants and maybe a little less on the benefit ends to the super frequent traveler. They had some nice bonuses that came with the relaunch of those cards. Overall, pretty successful, I think, and then the hammer came down and travel, pretty much stopped. And so I think a lot of people forgot about what Delta had done maybe in a way, but a pretty nice change this year. Number 7 is not a single card as much as it is an appreciation of some of the major credit card issuers who sort of turned on a dime in reaction to the new COVID era that we are still living in as I make this video, and added new rewards and new redemption options and all sorts of ways to try to make their card holders happy who were paying anywhere from $95 to $550 for a travel credit card but could no longer travel. So whether that meant greater rewards on things like groceries and streaming services, restaurant takeout, wireless services, all sorts of things we saw from different credit card issuers. Chase allowed its travel credits on the Chase Sapphire Reserve to be used toward things that were not travel, and there were also redemption options as well with Chase in particular, where you could use your points and get more value out of them if you redeem them for certain things that weren't travel related. So both Chase and American Express, I think, were the leaders here, but other travel credit cards and other companies kind of jumped in as well and tried to make their cards still have value when they could have taken a short-term approach and just said, well, we'll see you in 2021. Tough. Number 6, the Verizon Visa. Now, this is a credit card that only gives you rewards that you can use toward Verizon products and services, but there are a zillion Verizon customers out there in the world, so a very big audience for this one. Verizon could have phoned it in, so to speak, in terms of the rewards and benefits on this card, but I think they did a pretty nice and generous job of it. 4% on gas and groceries, 3% at restaurants, and some other enhanced categories as well. You had some credits for new card holders. All in all, if you're a Verizon customer, even though you can only use this toward your Verizon bill, if you have to pay that bill every month anyway, you could think of this as a cashback card in the way that you think of many other cashback cards, and so some very nice categories there. Number 5, I'm going to lump 3 credit cards together that have a certain similarity. The SoFi credit card, the Venmo Visa credit card, the HM Bradley credit card. All 3 of these decent cards on the rewards front, but all 3 of them require you to have some sort of relationship with the companies already, or establish a different relationship with the companies in order to get your hands on the cards. SoFi credit card, 2% flat cash back, which is very nice in today's market, but you have to have a SoFi account in order to be invited to that card. Venmo card has an interesting rewards structure as well. Bigger user base for Venmo probably, so a lot of people are already Venmo users. They again are also doing things on sort of a rolling basis, so probably the heavier user you are of Venmo, the quicker you might get your hands on it. HM Bradley, smaller company, you have to have a savings account with them in order to get your hands on their credit card. So interesting cards, but you have to have a little more of a commitment. Number 4 is the Chime Credit Builder card, which does have a similarity to those 3 cards I just talked about in that you have to have a relationship with Chime in order to get your hands on this particular card. But I single this one out in particular because it has been very popular among people that are trying to establish credit. And what Chime does, which is pretty interesting with this card, is they essentially force you to put money aside to pay for your future credit card bills. So you really are sort of using this card as a debit card, but you have put that money aside, and then it automatically gets paid from the money you've put aside. And when it does, Chime then reports that as a payment to the major credit reporting bureaus, just as it would any other credit card payment, and that can help you establish credit and increase your credit score over time. So you're really using it almost like a debit card, but you're getting it reported to the credit reporting agencies. And in an age when many people have decided that debit is the better way to go, they don't want to pay for things that they haven't already put the money aside for. Chime is sort of giving them the option to put that money aside, almost use it like a prepaid debit card, but get the benefits of credit building. Number 3 is bonuses. 2020 has been the year of the credit card bonus. Earlier in the year, we would not have guessed that that would be the case. We would have thought that the banks would be cutting credit lines and staying away from acquiring new card holders, but somewhere along the line, they obviously decided that this has been an uneven economic hit to the system, with some people having very severe hits and some people simply starting to work from home and maybe even spend more at home while they're bored sitting in front of their computers, because all of a sudden, especially over the last 3 or 4 months, we have seen a ton of lucrative credit card bonus offers, from American Express with their 100K offers plus 10x on multiple other categories, to Chase with their 5% on groceries on top of a $200 bonus on their Freedom cards. We have seen multiple $250 and $300 bonuses on no annual fee cards, the airline and hotel cards at various times. Different cards have had very large bonus opportunities. So at some point, the wheel spun the other way, I guess you could say, with some of the banks, and they decided to really start going after cardholders again. So if you are lucky enough to be in a place where your personal economic situation has not changed a whole lot, there are still some great opportunities out there now, and there have been for quite a while. Number 2 on our list of good stuff in the credit card world in 2020 is the US Bank Altitude Go Visa, a new no annual fee card that in particular is noteworthy for its 4% reward on restaurant purchases, but also 2% on groceries, gas, streaming. Had a nice $250 bonus. I think it still does as I make this video. So an opportunity there to get some nice rewards, a nice bonus, a good new all-around credit card on the market in 2020. And then number 1, the biggest, best news in credit cards in 2020 was the revamp of the Chase Freedom cards, the upgrade of the Chase Freedom cards. I should say Chase basically took 2 cards that were fairly popular already and made them way better. So the Chase Freedom changed its name to the Chase Freedom Flex, kept its 5% rotating categories, but added 5% on travel through Chase's Ultimate Rewards portal, 3% on dining, 3% at drugstores. So that got significantly better. Chase Freedom Unlimited essentially did the same thing, took what it was before, a 1.5% flat cash back card, added that 5% on travel, that 3% on dining, that 3% on drugstores. So Chase didn't necessarily have to make these changes, but they continue to sort of up the game and make a lot of their rivals have to work to try to figure out how to get people out of that Chase ecosystem that has become so popular with so many cardholders. So that's a big list for 2020, but some other interesting things went on in the credit card world, including PayPal Key, which allows you to use your PayPal account as a virtual MasterCard anywhere that MasterCard is accepted online. On the automotive front, Ford launched a new credit card and BMW did a refresh of theirs. In the travel world, Hotels.com offered a new credit card, only okay for most people, but if you're already part of their rewards program, perhaps it would make sense. On the retail end, we had a new credit card from Harbor Freight, and Wayfair also changed partner credit card issuers and beefed up the benefits of its credit card. And then finally, Petal, which thus far has offered a pretty nice credit card to people with no credit history, decided to launch a second credit card for people whose credit history maybe is not so great. So now we have a Petal 1, which is the new card. The old Petal card is now Petal 2. So that's it for the best of the credit card world in 2020. We are not going to do a worst credit cards of 2020 this year because the whole year has been the worst in so many other ways. So those are the best things that happened, a ton of new and interesting stuff. Please let me know in the comments if you picked up any of these new cards, if you took advantage of any of these bonuses, if I missed any cards that came out and I just forgot about. Whatever, put it in the comments. I would appreciate seeing them. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and as always, please go to proudmoney.com where we do credit card reviews, we talk personal finance, we talk deals, and all sorts of other fun stuff too. Thank you for watching. Bye.